¿Qué tal? Soy Mike Roman y estoy escuchando True Hell Hills.
What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat. What's up? True Heel Heat. All hands on me.
What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia 2 here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for Rated Raw Review, episode 46. You broke your neck. So what? Discussing the December 2nd, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw as only we can. And to do that, I am joined by my esteemed colleague, the one and only face and ace of the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, Mr. Romeo Anthony Cologne. How are you doing?
SP3 chat, don't you dare be sour. It's a newer day. Yes, it is.
Now day. It's now day.
You know,
Now you come?
So what? Broke your neck? So what? Listen, that drop that we have with Xavier, Big E,
Yeah.
it's never gonna hit the same.
It's gonna
We'll
feel
always
different.
have that. We'll always have that.
He's gonna have their shared love of True Heel Heat, but no more. The new day is no more. Yes, we are here to discuss the December 2nd, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw as only we can. We appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Let's drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We got 650 subscribers left to hit our goal of 20,000 for the channel for the end of 2024. We got 28 days or so left, folks. We gotta get the move on. We gotta make the big push, the final year push, because there's a lot to enjoy in the month of December. We got Rated Raw review, the final shows of the USA Network era of WWE Raw. We're going to have our year-end awards at the end of the year, as well as our year-end videos breaking down our top 10. We're going to start taking the polling for our members and our Patreon backers. And then in a week or so, we'll start going to our subscribers over here on our community tab, where you'll be able to vote on the True Heel Heat year-end award. So always appreciate y'all so much. But yes, we got a lot to discuss on this edition of Rated Raw Review with a jam-packed, noteworthy, newsworthy, buzzworthy edition of Monday Night Raw to discuss from last night. So sound off in the live chat if you are joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Either way, let us know in the comments down below if you're watching us on demand. But if you're with us live, if you want to have your comment read on screen, you want to show your appreciation to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got one of our members in the chat right now, I Make Beats, who says, "What's up, my true heels?" You can become a member by hitting the join button, just $1 a month. Another way for you to support us here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. He also mentions, I went up to 126 subs. I'm catching up. There you go, I Make Beats. We love to hustle. Love to hustle, sir. He also says, "Bro, I miss Raw, and all I heard was how tragic the New Day segment is. So like a big man, I checked it out. It's so hard to say goodbye." I wish they would have had, like, you know how they do like the big cinematic segments, like the CM Punk and Roman Reigns shit. I wish they had that for this segment, and they could have paid the rights for "It's so hard" as Big E's walking out to say goodbye to yesterday. Ooh.
That'll be the highlight package they show on SmackDown. What happened on Raw?
Well, we know Triple H watches True Heel Heat, so I hope he's watching
course.
this review here.
What's up,
So
Paul? Make sure you thumbs up.
What's going on, Paul? Your number one fan over here. Your number one critic over here. Number one critic over here.
Sworn enemy. Since
Not a sworn enemy. I am very fair. And
it goes back to the teenage angst he had, the Reign of Terror.
No, yeah, I mean, I did have that. For the Reign of Terror, but it wasn't teenage angst. It was I Make Beats, who sent a super sticker. Thank you so much, I Make Beats, for the support. Always appreciate you in the chat joining us for all our live streams. You're one of our big supporters throughout the year of 2024. We got Chilling with Chase in the chat with us, who says, "We just focus on what we do." Quote from Triple H.
Okay, so there's a video on social media, on Twitter, where it's like repeated clips of Triple H saying "what we do." I never noticed how much he says that phrase. Oh my god, it's crazy. What we do, what we do, what we do. It's what we do.
Every press conference has the same thing. It's the same thing.
Wow, I love it.
I know you do.
Need a T-shirt.
No, we're good. We got Will Chisholm, who says, "Did MVP write Kofi and Woods promo?" I mean, it had so much venom in their promo. It's like everything that they spit out about each other, they didn't spit it out on Big E last night.
This is gonna be interesting going forward.
Yeah, it's one of the best segments of the year to me. One of the greatest
heel turns of all time. All time.
Wow. Okay, that's
all time.
Much. A little much.
All time.
A little much.
Gut punch, tugging at the heartstrings. If you didn't tear up, you're not human.
I didn't tear up.
Oh,
I am human, but I didn't tear up. My jaw was on the floor. I could.
Close
How
enough.
could I cry? How could I cry? My jaw's on the floor.
Close
I
enough.
was like, wait, where's the punchline?
That's suitable.
I was like, for the first couple of lines that they said, I was like, okay, where's the punchline? Where they turn this all around and be like, oh, we're just joking. No, it's not coming. When he mentioned, oh, you didn't even get neck surgery, I was like, oh shit, this is real. This is really happening.
Once Xavier started going down the dark path, I was like, what if Kofi joined him? And it happened. I was like, oh. And then I was like, what if they attack him? They didn't go there.
I thought for a second, I'm not gonna front. I thought for a second, I was like, are they gonna attack? Has he been cleared to do like one attack segment?
Listen, it's one of two things going forward. Either one, this is Big E saying goodbye, passing the torch, making one last out of Kofi and Xavier that he could, self-sacrifice, or two, setting up a return. This would be a hell of a way to return.
I think this was a big setup for his return.
Royal Rumble. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. They're both in the ring cleaning house. Y'all want to go big? Oh, the pop. And then WrestleMania.
I'm sorry, nah.
Triple threat.
I do like the theme song. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just think that he needs the don't you dare be sour.
Yeah,
I feel like he needs that intro. What he gets out of the divorce is one of the kids, and that's the intro. The intro to the theme.
And then triple threat at Mania. Xavier Kofi eventually just lose it again.
Yeah.
Triple threat.
They don't get the tag team titles, so they turn on each other.
That'd be a moment for their careers, all of them.
That'd probably be their dream match for them, probably.
Yeah.
Power Driver Finisher says, like, what the fuck? When did Big E become a bad guy? I mean, that's what made this heel turn work, is because Big E is like the most likable guy in the business.
Yes.
Like the only people that get on par the amount of like, oh, Big E's such a great guy lines as much as Big E is probably like Adam Cole. That's it.
I was gonna say Sami Zayn.
No, there are a lot of people annoyed by Sami Zayn. Don't like talking to him. Yeah, like nah, that's been known. Like, no, they don't. A lot of people don't. Actually, it's actually more negative for Sami Zayn as far as I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like with the fans. I'm talking about backstage. Like everybody that actually knows him, not like fan know him and he's nice to you. I'm talking about backstage. Who do people all say is the nicest guy ever? They either say Adam Cole or Big E.
Right. Did you read Big E's article for The Athletic?
I read a portion of it, which I was convinced that we were just breaking up the New Day completely after even seeing that he wrote that for the Players Tribune.
That's pretty good. Sorry, I said The Athletic. It's Players Tribune.
Yeah. We got I Make Beats who says they ain't angry at Big E, they angry at themselves. We also got Power Drive Finisher who says, I think this segment was top notch. I don't even like New Day, but I knew we would get something great. I knew that we would get the big shift where we were going next with the story. I knew that we kind of both been saying over the last couple of weeks that we knew it would come on the anniversary episode, but I did not expect this. Did you expect anything like this?
No, I expected a full-blown reunion and Big E announcing that he's back. Sadly.
And we kind of got that at the beginning. The beginning got me hyped. I was like, oh, this is dope. They kind of roll for him. He's going to be on the road full time. He could be their manager. And
I was completely down with it for like 20,
I was here for it.
Half a minute. And then it's just, what?
I was like, what is going on
now? But let me say this now because I might forget later. But this was so gut punching and gut wrenching, however you want to describe it. Nothing could follow this. This should have closed the show. I'm sorry. Just have the viewer there.
If they didn't have the close that they did, I would have 100% agree with you.
Okay.
And I even said that to Jimmy McIntyre because I was talking to him during this segment. But I also agree with him where his reaction, his response to me saying that was like, Like, let's not go too far because the New Day is great. They've been in this great story, but they passed their peak. So like you would have expected something even bigger than this if it was closing the show. You would have expected the attack on Big E if it was closing the show. So I think it was in the right place.
And the Drew stuff, you don't got to do that this week. Do it next week, because to
Nah,
me,
that made this show. If this show just had the New Day segment, it would at least be a good show. But with all the stuff with Sami and Seth and Punk and Jay
that
and
was
Drew,
enough.
that made it a great episode.
Yes, but the Drew stuff kind of gets buried here.
No.
Yeah, this is the lead.
No.
This is the lead.
Yeah, this is the lead. This is the number one thing that happened on the show. But Drew McIntyre returning is the second biggest thing on the show.
Okay, it should be the best thing. It should be saved for another week.
No, he hasn't been gone. He hasn't been gone that long. They did actually a great, well thought out angle to bring him back. That makes all the world of sense. We don't even need his promo to understand why he did these attacks on this show. So it was a great angle because it told the story, and you don't even need them to say anything. You know why he's doing what he's doing. But I understand what you're saying with, you could have put this on another week, but this week made it more impactful, and it made it a great post pay-per-view episode of Raw.
I disagree. I mean, I agree with what you're saying there, yes, but I disagree that you could have spread this out. You could have done this another week. A whodunit, and someone else gets attacked next week. Sami Zayn this time.
Nah.
Yeah, you could have done it that way. You got to tell TV week after week.
No, I think we should have figured out by wrestling this year. They don't do whodunit storylines very well, so it's best if it's only 1 week. None of the whodunit storylines have been very good throughout wrestling this year, so it was best to keep it to the 1 week. We do have a super chat donation here from the King Ellie Show. Thank you so much, King Ellie. He says, book it now. Bianca will win the Rumble and face Rhea Ripley at Mania, going with Naomi as who attacked Jade.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news. There's no chance this is happening. Bianca is facing Jade straight up at Mania. She'll be back. Rhea, I don't know what Rhea's doing, but it's probably Rhea and Liv. I don't think Liv is dropping the title until Mania. Sorry. And Charlotte's winning the Rumble. Charlotte's winning the Rumble to challenge either Tiffany or Nia.
I'm going with
Queen returns.
I'm going with Ripley versus Liv versus Becky at Mania.
There you go. Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, that we were talking about previous weeks. Yep. There you go.
I think that's the main.
Listen,
that's the Mania match to go.
You're gonna have to keep waiting on Bianca Rhea, which they didn't even tease much when they were just teaming with each other. They should have, but they didn't want to because it's not happening anytime soon.
To be fair,
they should not be taking no backseat to Rhea as captain, and then just being like, whatever you say, Cap. No.
To be fair, they barely told any stories in that women's War Games matchup. I know you were on the watch along, but any additional thoughts from Survivor Series from Saturday?
I like that the women's War Games it didn't really kind of get good until everybody was all in the ring. Nia was pretty bad. If Nia's going to be there in the beginning,
Nia was awful.
Yeah,
that's not sugarcoating. I think bad is like sugarcoating it.
I felt like they weren't laying their shit in. Like, this is War Games. Lay your shit in. I don't care if they're your friends. Fucking pretend this is an actual war. The Shinsuke LA night was terrible. Shinsuke Andrade the night before was way better. But I do like Shinsuke winning. We're giving his new character something to go with going forward. Gunther, a Priest, solid match, but do we need this Finn shit again? Like, at this point, I don't need a triple threat match. I need Finn and Damian like Hell in a Cell. It's gotten this ridiculous. Like, and I know we just had Hell in a Cell.
My post SummerSlam prediction is looking very good, Romeo. I literally said after SummerSlam, I was like, they're probably going to do Balor versus Priest at WrestleMania. And I told this to Jimmy McIntyre last night, and he was like, that's fucking disgusting.
Whenever it happens, it can't be no regular ass match. It's got to be last man standing, something.
I think it's going to be if Priest wins, Judgment Day disbands.
Oh. Well, what does Balor get if he wins?
World title shot. I don't know.
Loser leaves Raw, some shit like that.
I don't know. I don't know.
What match was before War Games that I'm missing?
The triple threat.
Oh, banger.
Yeah.
Braun, as always doing something new. And the men's War Games was awesome. I loved it. They told a great story with Punk and Roman. Big Jim Uso. All of a sudden, just doing whispers in the wind. He put on his working boots. And Bronson Reed. That spot was crazy. And he was noticeably absent from this episode. He's hurt. I don't think it's going to be a serious long time, but...
Broke his ankle.
Broken? I didn't hear broken. I thought it hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt.
Well, I heard broke.
Broken toe for Jimmy.
Yeah, I know that. But I heard, and I saw like the picture of his ankle when he came down for the tsunami. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully he's back soon because he was on a career run for him. So you would hate to see an injury at that point. We got Big Man Dogs. He says, I feel like Liv lost her heat.
No.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree that I feel like that too. She doesn't get as much heat as she used to unless she's right next to Dom.
No. Liv is amazing. Liv is the 2024.
Did you not hear the reaction she got last night? She did not get that much heat. She not got that much of a reaction at all when she came out.
2024 Women's Wrestler of the Year is Liv Morgan.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Doubt.
That's ridiculous. She's been in some of the worst WWE Premium Live Event matches this year, and you're saying she's Women's Wrestler of the Year.
She's accomplished the most.
You know, Women's Wrestler of the Year is not just because of kayfabe accomplishments, right? It's because it's because you're actually a great character. You put on great matches, which Liv Morgan had 0 this year. You actually, are in a prominent position. She's got that. She's got the accolades and prominent position in our company. She just doesn't have the great promos or the great character or a great act or any great matches to make her the women's wrestler.
Not a great act. You're crazy.
Name more than one great match she had this year.
I said not a great act. You're crazy.
Oh, okay. So you're completely ignoring that part.
You ignored me first.
No, I'm just saying. I
said not a great act. It's one of the greatest acts in the company.
No, it's not. It's the same shit in every fucking matchup. It's Dom distracts the referee, he throws in an object, and Liv cheats to win.
That's not.
It's basically the Jeff Jarrett TNA 2003 act of distract the referee so Jarrett can hit them with the guitar. That's basically her act.
You're wrong.
I love that. That's your response? No, her act is actually this. No, you're wrong. No, I literally described 90% of the singles matches he's had this year. It's been distraction. Dom throws in a weapon. He distracts the referee. She hits the move on the weapon, gets the win. That's literally 90% of her matches since she's turned heel.
Don't be mad at how she wins. She wins. Bottom line, she wins.
No, that's the act. That's the act.
The act is
description of the act.
The act is Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. That's the act, and she's delivered to it.
And that's been over since SummerSlam.
Now she's just putting the
sprinkles on top, and she's lost her heat.
No, well, no, it's December. She's just chilling now.
God, this guy doesn't even know how to debate. You're wrong. You're wrong. I believe
you are.
You're wrong.
Definitely wrong. Liv Morgan is number 1.
You're wrong. We got Seth. He says Bronson Reed broke both ankles. I hope it's not both. That would be horrible. He'd be out for like a year. We got Big Man Dog says Liv Morgan cooled down the crowd tour. Yes, that's what it is now. It was Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. Now it's Liv Morgan cooled down the crowd tour.
You guys
we got Big Man Dog says I have listened to the crowds. Liv has been coming out to cold crowds. Yes.
No.
What do you like? You know that's gaslighting. You do know that when we actually see something and it happens, and then we state that it happens, and then you're telling us no, you're wrong.
I don't know what you guys are listening to because when Liv Morgan comes out, I'm very loud, so I don't hear the crowd. I'm loud myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, yeah, fucking go, Liv. So
the cope is real with Romeo. It's hilarious. It's always hilarious to me. And yeah, I don't think even Romeo can maybe Romeo. I won't hold them to that. Maybe Romeo
well, now
will
it
lie
looks like
to
they're
y'all.
doing a little something different. Now it's Rhea and Raquel at least.
How is that different? It's the same feud.
They
It's
haven't
just an
gone at it. They
extension.
haven't gone at
Oh
it.
my god, that's ridiculous. They faced each other last year. They faced each other like 4 times.
Last year.
Oh
Well,
my
not in
God.
this reiteration of Raquel.
Oh my god, I am over this. I am over the gaslighting and coping. All right. What did you think about the crowd last night from Everett, Washington?
Very high tier. 8.
They were a pretty good crowd. I thought they were a pretty good crowd for sure.
Even loud
Big
for
man.
women's matches.
Big Man Doy says Rhea is getting big reactions despite this feud, not because of it. And we also got Chilling with Chase, who says, feel like Raquel cooled down Liv. Dom was the perfect heater. She didn't need another one. I agree with that.
I'm fine with Raquel and Liv.
Of course you are. You're fine with anything they give you.
That's not true.
This shit sandwich, delicious shit sandwich,
That's not
Paul.
true.
We got a show recap of what went down at Survivor Series. We see Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods arriving at the building separately. We then see CM Punk entering the arena. He runs into Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, his tag team partners, in the men's War Games matchup at Survivor Series. He pumped up to see Jay. He gives Jay a hug. Zayn was less enthused, so Punk offered a handshake, and Zayn shook his hand. Punk entered. They did the one-shot take with Punk making his entrance to kick off the show. We get a notification that the Roman Reigns stopping CM Punk from entering War Games has over 104 million views, setting the record for their most viewed Instagram reel of 2024. The last time CM Punk was on Monday Night Raw, he says that he wasn't sure what the future held, coming out of a career-threatening Hell in a Cell matchup. He was coming out of a career-threatening match again, but this time he knew exactly where he was going next. He felt much better this time around, and he handled his business with Drew McIntyre. He handled some personal business for his friend Paul Heyman, and he knew what his future held. He stood on the middle rope, and he pointed where the WrestleMania sign normally would be. The sign might not be there, but he could see it, says Punk. There were different ways you could take, different ways to finish your story. It could be the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber. But no matter what, he had a favor or two in his pocket. And this brought out Seth freaking Rollins, where Punk visibly was pissed off at hearing Seth's music interrupt him again. Rollins comes out, Punk mouth, fucking gotta be kidding me. We then say Rollins says he's been thinking a lot. He says that he should have knocked Punk out the second he stepped back into WWE. And over the last year, a lot has gotten in his way. Punk got hurt. Rollins had titles to defend, and he had a bloodline to take down. The last time Rollins saw him, he came this close to taking his shot, but he had pity for Punk, who just came out of Hell in a Cell. So he saw Punk standing next to Roman Reigns and decided it was time to rectify his mistakes. Rollins removed his jacket and said that there was nothing standing between them. Tonight felt like the night he would knock Punk on his ass. Nothing between them but air and hatred. Punk said that Rollins talked too much and he didn't listen enough. Punk was done with with his personal stuff. He was tired of running races with people he didn't even know he was running with. Rollins was champ 6 months ago and had something he wanted, but now he had nothing. Punk knew what was in his future, and kid, you ain't it.
I'm sorry, man. Like, what is Seth wearing? We have to grade this.
Oh my God, the high water, that is over the belly button, sir. That is over the belly.
Ridiculously high. This is an 8.5 on the Seth Rollins scale. What do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Oof, my
Seven,
goodness.
7.5 for
This
the
is
high waters
disgusting.
and the fishnet shirt.
Older
Punk
Jeff
said
Hardy.
Punk said Rollins might have been thinking about him for the past 6 months, but Punk doesn't think about him at all. Punk had business to take care of and told Seth to stay out of his. Rollins told Punk he didn't listen enough either. And because this was his business, he then shoved Punk to the ground and invited him to fight. They had a very, very awkward exchange where Punk took a swing at Rollins but missed. It looked like his UFC career.
SP3. One of these guys is a former UFC fighter. One of these guys.
Punk tackled him to the ground, and they brawled very briefly before Sami Zayn and Jey Uso ran down to break it up. Officials ran down to assist as both men were yelling and screaming at each other. Punk tries to come back into the ring, but Seth stomps at him. Jey leaves with Punk pulling him out of the ring while Sami stays with Rollins holding him back. Rollins told Punk and Jey to leave. He told Jey to run back to Reigns. And then Sami told Rollins not to speak to Jey that way. Rollins understood why Jey would go back to Roman, given they were family. But what's your excuse? Talking to Sami, and the crowd loudly chanted, Sami Uso.
That's right.
Sami Uso. Seth said he was closer to Sami than Sami ever was with the bloodline, ever was with Jey, ever was with Jimmy, ever was with Roman. They came up together and have known each other for 20 years. Sami, and he says, how dare him stand there with CM Punk. Zayn cuts him off immediately. He says that he never wanted to be CM Punk's partner. He wanted Rollins, but Seth turned him down twice because he's just too damn stubborn. Rollins says that he was never going to team with that monster Roman Reigns. And Sami laughs and says that Rollins created that monster when he put a chair in Roman's back 10 years ago. Seth laughed himself, and he says he had already apologized for what he did and knew it helped create the tribal chief. But Sami was guilty of the same thing because when he got fed up with Roman, he stabbed the chair right in his back as well. Good comeback.
No lies told.
Roman treated everyone like crap, which led to Sami turning on him. They worked together to take down the bloodline at WrestleMania, and he urged Sami to remember that. Rollins wondered if Roman had even apologized to them, apologized to Jey, apologized to Jimmy. Rollins says that his stubbornness wasn't the issue. Sami's naivety or gullibleness is what's the issue. He's just too damn stupid. Sami could see that Seth was frustrated and suggested that they have a match tonight to blow off some steam, and Rollins agreed. This opening segment was 25 minutes long.
Almost 20.
And I appreciated every minute of this. This was so well done. Everyone played their characters well. I felt like Seth and Punk's part of this was strong. But I feel like we've kind of reached the point of we've kind of heard everything until the feud is actually going to get going, going to actually move. We've heard everything they could say without coming to blows. So I wasn't really interested too much in the back and forth on the mic.
I like how you phrased that because there is more they could say, but then they're going to have to come to blows.
Exactly. But there's only so much they can say without coming to blows. So I wasn't really into the back and forth.
They still came to blows.
and it was bad. Let's be real. It was awkward. Blows. It was bad. It was awkward when they finally did come to blows. But then we got the Seth and Sami part of this, and I thought that was more compelling. I felt like there was new stuff to be said. Seth getting the blame for the monster that Roman Reigns became and kind of using Seth's own words against him by Sami Zayn. I thought that was a good response to Seth being angry with Sami teaming with Punk. Him putting it back on Seth saying, I asked you first, I asked you twice before Punk even became an option. What are you talking about? And then I love Seth bringing it back to Sami, saying that you did the same thing I did. You just did it. You did it for a different crew. And you in mentioning the fact that a big story element of the whole OG bloodline reunion that hasn't been addressed is that Roman hasn't apologized for anything. He hasn't apologized. He hasn't changed who he is at all. So I like the fact that they brought this up because it should be a part of the story, and we should see some type of redemption arc for Roman Reigns in some kind if he's going to be a full-fledged babyface in this company. But I thought that Seth and Sami was the more compelling promo exchange of this. But overall, this was a great opening segment. Everybody played their roles brilliantly, and it accomplished a lot in 25 minutes and set up the main event for the show. What did you think?
You're 100% right. Like, this 25 minutes is like 25% of the show right here almost. And it's such great writing. Very great writing. It makes you, as the viewer, if you like all these guys, Punk, Seth, Sami, it's like, who the hell do I root for here? Because they're all making up points, good points. It's just, this segment is just an example why this is the best wrestling product going right now. This is storyline. This is storytelling. I mean, this is such good shit. I loved it.
Really good stuff from everyone involved here. But yeah, I think it's set up a lot of story. We're gonna get Seth and Punk eventually. I don't know when, but eventually. But this felt more like the main event than anything involving Gunther.
What do you mean? Oh,
Gunther especially on this show, Gunther felt like the fifth most important thing on the show.
Gunther was being a nice guy because he's finally gives the guy who deserved a title shot this whole time. Finally, he got one.
He didn't get a title.
Well, he got a little something.
He gets a non-title match. So what are you talking about?
He deserved it. He deserved one-on-one.
I don't like.
He's deserved it this whole time.
I don't like how Gunther has been presented for the past month, and that didn't improve on this episode. But we got
tweener.
He felt like a babyface, not even tweener. We got a super chat donation here from Chase. Thank you so much, Chase. Appreciate the support. He says, answer whenever. What did you think of Dom being number one on the 30 under 30 list? ESPN released their 30 under 30 list with Dominic Mysterio topping the list, followed by MJF, Timeless Tony Storm, and Rhea Ripley completing the top four.
I feel great. He deserves it.
All three of the people that I named after him are better than him and should have been higher on him. That's my thought. Dominic Mysterio still does not work like what I would call a main eventer. So all the three rest of the people are main eventers. So I would say they're better than him. So that's just me. But that's my thoughts on the 30 under 30 list, which it is what it is. I Make Beat says them higher than Ishii shorts. Damn, talking about Seth Rollins pants. Good point. We also got Chilling with Chase says 2 years of training and he entered in a wrestling stance to throw a punch. This is what amateurs do, not a former professional.
That was funny.
I was like, Punk, you should have never been a mixed martial artist.
Nope.
Big Man Dog says WWE feels so interconnected. And I made this point on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast on Saturday. I was like, hey, everything in WWE, especially in like 2024, the most important storylines all stem from the bloodline. Like pretty much everything. Everything stems from the bloodline. Like the bloodline interacting with any of these characters, it stems from that. It's really been all the storylines in WWE, all the major ones, either stem from the bloodline or the Judgment Day.
And who do we have to thank for this in the 37th inning of the Bloodline saga, where there's plenty more innings to go? Batista. If Batista never leaves Evolution, Triple H never needs a plan B. And Seth Rollins never leaves the Shield. Batista is the cause of all this. Ain't that crazy? Wow. Remember Batista waving goodbye?
It's ridiculous.
That started the bloodline. Wow.
So ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I make these. Seth has been underrated for 2024, in my opinion. He's been involved in some big stories and affected them as well, not just thrown in.
He's got to stay healthy.
We also got here, Big Man Dog says, I feel like the biggest improvement in WWE isn't even the storyline. It's that the characters are so well written and clearly defined so people can be emotionally invested in them. I agree, because sometimes the storylines are either too drawn out or somewhat nonsensical, but the characters and how they react to some of those nonsensical parts of the storylines or the stuff that isn't well written, the character's reaction to that dictate, kind of make it better than it would have been otherwise. So I do agree with that point.
Baby faces aren't perfect. They have flaws, and you see the flaws sometimes in these segments. This is somebody's doing some great writing. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's different people on different topics, but somebody's doing some good shit.
But up next, we got a recap of what happened with Finn Balor costing Damian Priest the World Heavyweight Championship at Survivor Series. We also get a recap of the footage after Survivor Series of Damian Priest attacking Finn Balor only for the Judgment Day to lay him out and re-injure his shoulder. Backstage, we see the Judgment Day in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Liv Morgan wasn't sure about Balor attacking Priest, but Balor told her that because of him, Priest was not walking around as the World Heavyweight Champion. And he took care of it because Daddy Dom over here, couldn't get the job done. Balor said that if she listened to him, she would have won War Games. Finn was full of confidence, and Liv said she hoped he knew what he was doing. Balor says when everyone listens to Finn, the Judgment Day win. And JD says that has a nice ring to it.
That's a shirt.
I'm over the Judgment Day. I'll be honest. I'm over this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that. We know who's the star right now. Like at least when it was the previous version of Judgment Day, you had Damian, you had Finn still had some star power left in him, and you had Rhea, who was a mega star, and you had Dom, who was a star on the rise. Now it's just Dom. It's just Dom and Liv. Dom and Liv is the act.
Jeez.
Dom and Liv. No, Dom needs Liv for his act. So I would say it's Dom and Liv, and everybody else feels like outliers and just tag alongs at this point.
I like Carlito wanting a group hug. That was funny.
Yeah, he just wanted a hug. Pervert.
Keep it going. I love it.
Pervert. We go next to Women's World Champion Liv Morgan teaming up with Raquel Rodriguez to verse the damage control of Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Sane hit Rodriguez with an insane elbow, but Morgan broke up the cover. Sky wiped out Morgan with a big dive to the outside. Sane hit Rodriguez with a spinning back fist. However, Rodriguez caught Kairi on the top rope, hit her with a big boot, then the Tejada bomb for the 1-2-3. The Judgment Day picking up this tag team victory here. I am not too sure about that finish. I would have thought that Io should have got the victory here to give her some more momentum as the number one contender. But I understand they wanted to heat up Raquel because they have a big match for her next week. As post-match, we get the heels beaten down on damage control until Rhea Ripley ran out to make the save. Ripley fought them off for a moment. It's a big headbutt on Raquel, the same way she injured herself previously with the broken orbital socket.
So dumb.
She then goes after Rodriguez on the outside, slamming her head into the announce table. Liv jumps on her back, so she slams her back first into the ring post. But Raquel takes advantage of this distraction, and she runs Rhea right into the corner of the announce table with her previously broken orbital socket hitting the side of the table. Oh man, that looked hard. That looked bad. Officials ran down to separate everyone as Rhea looked like she was hurt. But this also sets up what's going down on Saturday, December 14th, Saturday night's main event, Long Island, New York. Liv Morgan defends the WWE Women's World Championship against the number one contender, Io Sky. what did you think about all of this tag match and then the post match with Rhea?
Tag match, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Probably Io should have won. What's the? Do you have? What's the? What match is Raquel in the IC title thing?
She's in a 3-way with Zoe Stark and Kaden Carter. So she's going to the second round.
I figured like Kyrie was in that match, so maybe Kyrie would have snuck the win back, but nope.
No, this is like, at least with like the women's US title tournament, like you got Bailey, you had Jade at one point was in it, Bianca's in it, Tiffany's in it. This shit is devoid of stars. This Intercontinental title tournament, like there's no stars in this shit.
Yeah, the two people that I want to win are on the same side of the bracket, so I'm assed out.
Poor guy.
Zelina
Poor
and
guy.
Natty.
You're down bad, cuz. Down bad.
Dakota Kai just gonna cakewalk through this. Like, jeez.
Chance Carter. I love how you combine both of their names.
Yeah, that's a Steveism right there.
Steveism. There you go. But yes, we go backstage to Gunther being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, but he was quickly interrupted by Finn Balor and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Balor said that Gunther owed him a title match because Gunther was still the champion thanks to him. Gunther said he owed Balor nothing. He says that he's been down bad going into Survivor Series and wanted to win on his own, but Balor took that opportunity away from him. Balor thought that Gunther should want to fight him then, but he says that, Dom was being a prick beside Balor, so Gunther smacked his hand out of the air, and Gunther said he figured Dom was feeling confident because he actually did what Balor couldn't do and beat Damian Priest. So Gunther thought that Dom deserved something for that, and he was feeling good, so he decided to go to talk to Adam Pearce. Gunther was 100% the babyface in this segment.
Yeah. And like Finn's paranoia, whatever you want to describe it, that he's got going on, it's like it actually makes Dom come across kind of cool. Because everything Gunther's saying, complimenting Dom, was correct. I don't know.
I'm not into the Judgment Day. I'm not into the presentation of Gunther's character right now. So, of course, WWE decides to put those two together. So, there we go. Speaking of the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament, the bracket was revealed on this episode of Monday Night Raw. We have on the right side of the bracket, Lyra Valkyria versus Zelina Vega versus Ivy Nile. That match will go down next week. We also got Alba Fire versus Kairi Sane versus Natalya. Poor Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn couldn't catch a break. Couldn't get into the field here.
Nope.
Then we got on the left-hand side of the bracket, Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kaden Carter on the bottom half. And then the top half was our opening matchup in the tournament, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, and Katana Chance. Any thoughts on the bracket or in any predictions on who you think makes the finals?
It's probably going to be Lyra versus Dakota.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, I feel like WWE gave us the answer to this equation. What was it, 2-3 weeks ago when they aired vignettes for both of those ladies?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they aired it. They aired it like literally. It was like vignette, match, vignette. Like it was not that much separating the two vignettes either.
Can you go back to the bracket, please? I'm just trying to see. Like there is like no really compelling final except Dakota and Kairi, I guess, would be compelling. That's it.
Yeah, but they don't have the connection Dakota has with like Io or Bailey.
Right. But like I'm just trying to think of something and I can't.
There's really like I said, this shit is devoid of stars. Like Shayna Baszler at one time was a star. Dakota Kai was a star in NXT. Raquel was a star in NXT, and she's connected to a star, but that's about it. Like there's no stars on the right hand side of the bracket.
She's so ice cold. They haven't done anything with her, but Natty deserves it. Natty deserves it.
I honestly, looking at that final match, that final triple threat first round matchup is the most intriguing because I could see a world where Kyrie or Natty wins that.
Mm-hmm. Nothing says the IC title like a heart holding it.
Good point. Good point. We got I Made Beats. He says I'm going with Lyra, Kai, Raquel, or Natty. You're going with the whole field. Like what the hell?
Four picks. The fuck is this? Kind of like Charles Barkley.
But yeah, I think that is going to be the final four. I will give you that.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are
If he's doing a final four, okay, that's different. All right,
that would probably be our prediction for the final four, right? I say Kyrie over Natty. Do Kyrie versus Lyra, and then you do Dakota versus Lyra in the final. You could have Lyra win, and then you could do a Lyra Io Lyra title feud because she beat the two members of Damage Control to win the title.
Yeah.
Next up was that first round matchup: Dakota Kai, Katana Chant, and Shayna Baszler. Match got 7.5 minutes with a commercial break in between, so we only saw about 4 minutes of it. But it got a really good reaction. The crowd was into this matchup. Baszler had Kai locked in the clear feet of clutch, but Katana Chance went to the top rope and to break it up. Kai moves out the way when Katana hits a beautiful looking 450 splash on Baszler. Kai then grabbed Katana and hits the GTK, the go-to kick variation for the 1-2-3. Dakota Kai moves on in the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament, and the crowd popped for the win. They were just they were actually into this matchup a lot more than they usually are for like a women's tag team matchup or any women's match in general.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I said this crowd was hot. 8 out of 10 crowd. But yeah, the match was fine, and Dakota's going to be hard to beat in this tournament. But she's going to be a strong favorite.
Yeah. This seems like the thing for her to win. If she was ever going to win a title on the main roster, this would be it.
I hope eventually Shayna can win it once. That would probably heat her up.
I hope so. Shayna Baszler should be a whole lot more than she is on the main roster. There was a video package for the New Day going through all the memories. It was making me sad, kind of like watching this. I was like, this is.
I would have done this throughout
the end.
I'd have done this throughout the whole night.
I would have started the show with that video package and then do like sprinkle other clips on the way, or do the video package at the start and then show the clips of how this relationship has been deteriorating into that segment.
That too. That's depressing, but that too.
But we see Kingston and Woods walking backstage separately through the back. Adam Pearce is in the ring and he introduces Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, the New Day. The stage and ring were decorated with New Day memorabilia and pictures. Kingston and Woods entered together. They were all smiles upon seeing all the decorations. Pearce led the crowd in a New Day Rocks chant before leaving the ring. The crowd also gave them a standing ovation. Woods said that this was more than they could have ever dreamed of when they first started. Woods thanked the fans. Kofi said that it's been a wild ride. They accomplished a lot and couldn't have done it without each and every one of them. They couldn't have done it without the fans either. The crowd chanted for Big E, and they said that they miss him as well. Woods had something they wanted to tell the fans, though. He wanted them to know it was not their fault. They loved every single one of the fans. Kofi was about to announce that something was changing with the New Day when Big E's music hits and he gets a huge pop from this crowd. Woods and Kingston were both surprised and happy to see the former WWE champion Big E on Monday Night Raw for the first time in 4 years. Big E thanked the fans for their response, and he wished that he was there under different circumstances. It troubled him deeply in his soul to hear them argue and bicker and say some of the most hurtful things you could ever imagine to each other. They only had each other 10 years ago when they first started this. Kingston was mulling over retirement because the passion was beaten out of him. E and Woods were on the verge of getting fired. One of the worst days of E's life and the scariest moment of his career. They were at his bedside at the hospital, making sure he was good. E held Kingston's baby while wearing a neck brace weeks later. Woods spilled tears on his shoulder when he won the King of the Ring, a childhood dream. What they built meant a lot to a lot of people, and it meant a hell of a lot to E too. E said, and I quote, "Until I am medically cleared to return to this ring, I'm going to remind the two of you exactly who you are. I'm going to be here to cheer for you, to root for you, to uplift you. I am going to be here every single week to serve as your manager." The crowd cheered louder as he spoke. They chanted his
we
name.
go home happy.
Big
That's
E,
it.
Big E, Big E. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. It would have been just a happy ending completely, right? Right?
What?
No.
Now?
Woods responds, now? Now? Now you want to come back? After you watched us fight for months and argue to the edge of a cliff, and the last thing left to do was jump? Now you want to come back? E, you left us. E said he broke his neck. And Kingston said, you left us, E. Kingston said, E broke his neck. But so what? Steve Austin broke his neck, and he came back. Kurt Angle broke his neck, and he came back. Broke his neck, and he came back. He said, and all of those guys didn't even have a family like the New Day to come back to.
Damn, kind of cold.
Wood said he and Kofi didn't change or evolve while E was out. It was to their detriment. But they did that so he had something to come back to that was familiar. Kingston said E didn't even need surgery, and he still hasn't come back. E said that he's been meeting with doctors. He's been trying to get cleared. Wood says that he tore his Achilles, but he came back in 9 months for
really?
E.
Really?
Kingston said that E could have come back anytime for them, but instead, he chose his new life. He chose his projects. He chose his desk job. He chose his girlfriend over them. Wood said that E has become a burden for them. Everyone kept telling them they missed E. They missed him too, but he didn't miss them. Kofi said that their philosophy was over we before me, but E chose himself, broken neck or not. Wood says that they can stop teasing the people. E would never be cleared. Woods told him to get the hell out of our ring and get back to his desk where he belonged.
Desk job.
E wouldn't leave the ring. He didn't want to throw all of this away just like that. He offered a hug to Kofi, and Kofi held him back. Woods looked away from E. E couldn't believe what was happening. He kept pleading with them as the crowd chanted, Big E rocks, Big E rocks. E finally left the ring as the crowd booed. Kingston and Woods finally stared down with one another, and they looked each other in the eye, and they said, it's just you and me. He said, and then Kofi responds, yes, it's just us now, brother. And they shook hands as the crowd showered them with boos. This
It's just
is
us.
absolutely amazing. One of the best heel turns on Monday Night Raw in recent memory. This was so well done and so well written because Big E got what he wanted. Big E came out and returned to bring Kofi and Xavier together. But he got what he wanted at his own expense, because the one thing that brought them together is their hatred for Big E leaving them, for abandoning them, for never progressing, never evolving after E left, and them feeling like their career stagnated once he got injured, that to the point that they had to cut ties with him to get back on the same page. This was so well done. This was absolutely incredible in performances by everyone involved, especially E, whose facial expressions were like Academy Award worthy, where you could tell that, yes, this man does have a future in some acting roles because he sold this to perfection. This was so well done. It so much subverted our expectations for this segment, where we all thought we were going to get either Big E reuniting them or Xavier turns on Kofi. And instead, they flip it on its head, swerve, and give us E getting turned on by Woods and Kofi reunited.
Man, oh man. One of the best segments of the Triple H era. One of the best heel turns of all time, in my opinion. My goodness. Just another well-written segment on the show. And even if that's all we get, the planning it took from where we started, this whole build-up, where it looked like Xavier was the one going wrong, even though I always defended him, remember? Because I thought he had points. I thought Kofi was being an asshole. In the end, they're both assholes together. Like, they meld as one big, giant asshole together. Wow.
Pause.
Big E. You were right. Oh, my goodness. At the end, when he starts getting choked up, he says, I'm not leaving. I'm not throwing away 10 years of this. It didn't take long for him to... I mean, it didn't take much for him to, like, use, like, genuine emotion, because it's pretty easy when you see your brothers there. But he delivered 100%. And I hope, the good news. I hope there's good news in the future. I hope there's even more of this. I hope Big E returns. But even if he doesn't, Crown, Kofi, and X, these guys are the top heel tag team. Like, there's no, like, JD and Finn, who gives a fuck? Get the titles off.
No one gives a fuck. Yo, I was like, book this triple threat. I was like, do War Raiders, New Day, and Judgment Day, and just put the titles on New Day.
Crown the New Day once again. It'll be interesting how they present themselves going forward, because, like, the New Day is just normally so colorful and silly and over the top. And now it's just like, how do you present yourselves now? How do you, because, like, I don't know. Not really. You guys are assholes. So that'll be interesting to see going forward. You need to, like, you got to get new music, I would think. Like, you can't still coming out to that. I don't know. Very interesting. But I am intrigued. I am invested. Wow.
Yeah, this was great. This is so great. So great. Everybody.
Top segment of the year.
Late candidate for top segment of the year. I was thinking about it earlier. We're probably gonna do top heel turn of the year, because there's been so many great heel turns between all the major promotions this year. But this might win it. This might be the late entrant that win it in December. Winning a year-end award. That's very rare. Very rare. We do have a super chat donation here from our boy, Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will. He says, as a black man, that was the most evil brotherhood handshake I've ever seen. LOL.
That was pretty cool. The handshake they did. It's just us. And I was like, you know what? Maybe, is there a possibility that they might not even be a tag team? They'll be like 1-1 still and just support each other like that. They could.
I think they made the right decision by not splitting them, because I've been saying it for weeks. I've loved the story, but I was very wary about the outcome of all of this. What would be the ramification, the fallout from if Woods turned on Kofi? Because I don't think that his ceiling is that high on his own. But in the New Day, I do think the ceiling is high because I can see the New Day once again becoming the anchor, the number one team in this promotion because of how great they've been character-wise throughout this whole angle.
They are stronger together than they are separate.
Yep. And WWE did something that I thought was near impossible after Kofi Mania. They turned Kofi Kingston heel in 2024.
Kofi's good at it. This was good shit for Kofi. I could see it from Xavier. Kofi, that's hard to see.
Yeah, that's when it became real. Is when Kofi started laying into E.
Yes, it was like whoa, it was like a snowball avalanche. Damn, and then he does like the hand stay away. It's like oof, that cut.
It's like god damn, man.
The only thing,
like that.
the thing that would have put this over the top, oh my goodness, is if Big E gets attacked. If he would have, even if it's like a small attack, like no,
just like one forearm from
Take
behind. I think that would have even got a big reaction. Like, oh, you're not supposed to touch him. Like it didn't even have to be that big.
And then he holds his neck, and then they stop right there. Wow, that would have been. Woo! But they still get heat. But that would have been nuclear heat.
Yes, 100%. 100% agree. We got another super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Good to see you in the chat, Chuck Berries. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
He says, there's only one man to blame for this catastrophe. The same clumsy dope that ended Chase U. Thanks a lot, Ridge. Be true. If you want to credit Batista for what happened with the Bloodline and Tribal Chief, you got to give it to Ridge because he started the end of the New Day.
And listen, I hope Big E's okay with it. I hope Big E gives him permission to use this as a storyline. I think he has, in fact, because Ridge tweeted like a picture of him just like celebrating, and the venom he got on social media from that. Woo!
He's gonna need that, especially if he's gonna fucking headline the NXT.
Look at this guy. This guy main eventing.
Why would they put Ridge Holland in a main event? Oh god.
Oh man.
What are they doing to my man Trick's title reign? Like they've been having a feud with Ethan Page, who he has no chemistry with, and now Ridge Holland.
Why is Obafemi on the shelf?
Like why are we icing Obafemi? Come on, don't Ricky Starks him. Anyway, next up. Next up, we
better show up sometime soon, man. NXT needs him.
Next up, we get a pre-tape vignette by Romeo's favorite wrestler, Karrion Kross.
They put this guy in the spot of death. Like, how do you follow that gut punch? And they're like, here's Karrion Kross. Fuckers. He interacted with the New Day. He caused this too.
I wish he would have said like, you know what you just saw. That was me, and that's the same thing I'm gonna do to the Wyatt Six. But he says that he's ready to take down the Wyatt Six along with the Final Testament, and they made it personal by going after Scarlett. But it was made official later on in the show. It will be an 8-man tag team matchup: The Miz and the Final Testament versus the Wyatt Six next Monday on Raw.
So you're telling me around Survivor Series time, we had an 8-man tag ready to go, ready to be booked. Yep. And we couldn't do Survivor Series elimination style?
Nope. Apparently not.
That gonna be on the card? Come on.
Apparently not, Romeo. We had to do a women's War Games matchup, even though that match would have been much better as an elimination matchup.
Yeah, they used to use that match as a way to push up and young coming talent as the sole survivor. All that crap. They threw that away. People don't want to watch an 8-man elimination match anymore.
Apparently not.
Once a year, I'm okay with it. Once a year, it's fine.
Exactly. Next up, we get World Heavyweight Champion Gunther going one-on-one with the Judgment Day's Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Gunther early on, he pats Dom on the head and the crowd laughs. So Dom smacks him across the face. Gunther booted him and was about to powerbomb Dom into the ring post, but Dom countered and sent him into the ring post. Dom followed up with the tope suicida ahead of the break.
We come back from commercial break, and Gunther applied a sleeper, but Dom was able to block the referee's view, and he gave Gunther a low blow. He followed up with a 619 to the ribs after he chopped Gunther, and Gunther's chest was bleeding from his matchup with Damian Priest from Survivor Series. Dom hits a dropkick to the back. He follows up with another 619. He hits a frog splash for a near fall. Dom went for a suplex, but Gunther booted him, kills him with a big old power bomb. 1, 2, 3. Gunther beats Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who got a Dirty Dom chant during this matchup.
Look at that.
Hey, I'll give it to him. They got Dom cheered. That's a good thing from this matchup. Post-match, Finn Balor comes out. He attacks Gunther from behind. He hits the sling blade, and he follows up with a coup de grace. And then he tells Dom, watch and learn, kid. And he hits his coup de grace 2 more times before grabbing the World Heavyweight Championship and laying it over Gunther while staring at Dominic Mysterio. He leaves out and he says, Dom will learn. Dom will learn. We then go backstage later on in the show. We have Adam Pearce approaches Finn Balor, and he tells him that Balor tells him that he wants a match with Gunther. Pearce already spoke to Gunther, and he wanted the same thing. So it will be Finn Balor versus Gunther at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Balor was happy until Priest told him, you have a title that you're not even defending. So next week, I'll have news on your other title match.
Yeah, buddy.
Which Balor was confused about.
Yeah.
But it's made official. Saturday, December 14th, a week from this Saturday night's main event, Gunther defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor. Any thoughts on Gunther versus Dom and then the attack by Finn?
Gunther just kind of kicked Dom's ass.
Yep.
Finn, I was wondering, where was Damian Priest this episode? But they did show earlier in the night that Priest got attacked after Survivor Series pretty brutally by the Judgment Day. So I already know how this match is going to go at main event. I already know the finish.
Priest costs Balor.
Yes. I don't think like Gunther and Balor, they want to have that one-on-one match. They've had it before, but they didn't really go all out. They still want to do that. I don't think they're going to do it here because why would you when you know the finish?
And it's still on TV, probably with more commercials because it's NBC. But I'm hoping that this predictable finish at least gets us triple threat at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen for sure.
Yeah, or the Netflix premiere as well. That's
that
would
work
show,
too
so.
Because Rumble's actually pretty far.
February.
Right? Isn't that in February?
Yeah, February 1st. February 1st.
There's a lot of stalling. A lot of stalling. Too much stalling.
Kyle says, War Games is cool through. It is my favorite match type other than the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. I think War Games would be better if it was elimination style. I've heard people say that before, but War Games can work when you don't have an idiot like Triple H who decides he doesn't want 2 War Games with the heels having the advantage. Because every year since they brought it to the main roster, the match that has the baby faces with the advantage is usually the worst match between the 2 War Games. And this woman's War Games, I think that you were very, 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 very 10 minutes past. Very, very, very nice to the women's War Games at the beginning of the show. Because that was by far the worst woman. That was by far the worst War Games of the modern era. Since WWE brought back the stipulation, that was the worst War Games that we've seen.
I said they got to lay their shit in. That they were being too soft with each other.
You said you liked the fact that the match didn't get good until the final when everybody was in the matchup. That is one thing that I did not like about that match. That the match didn't have anything interesting and was boring for 28 minutes.
No, I said it got passable when everybody was already in the match. That's when it got good. That's what I said.
Yeah. You said you liked that.
I didn't know. I said I liked when they were all in the ring.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that I liked that there was 25 minutes of nothing. I'd never.
Yeah, I was about to say that's what it sounded like to me.
No,
I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize. That's what I was like.
why would you? I was like, I understand your gimmick
heard
is
me
that
wrong.
you like everything WWE does, but you telling me you actually like the fact you had to sit there for 30 minutes with nothing going on?
No.
Oh man. We got I Make Beast. He says, I thought we were building to triple threat, maybe with Priest. I can see it happening, but I think
Yeah.
Priest is gonna get his revenge for that Saturday night's main event.
This is the long way of telling it. Yeah.
Next up, we go backstage and we get an interview with Pete Dunne, who says he's ready to shut up R-Truth once and for all and teach him that he's facing Pete Dunne and not Butch. But we hear some banging and clanging back in the backstage area, and we come up to see officials checking on Jey Uso, who was apparently attacked backstage. More on that in a bit.
Look like Trevor Lawrence. Concussed.
That leads into Pete Dunne going one-on-one with R-Truth.
Oh, man.
This was a two-minute matchup, which Balor dominated the most part of it until he got distracted by the fans. Actually, we've been saying it for months that these fans were not catching on to what WWE was putting down, but they finally did here in Everett because they were chanting Butch throughout the 2-minute matchup. This led to Dunne getting distracted. Truth rolls him up with a schoolboy. 1, 2, 3. R-Truth beats Pete Dunne.
Oh boy. I forgot to put an LVP. I was like, man, who would be an LVP in this one? Then I remembered. Oh, this. Yes. Okay. That's easy.
Easy one, right? Yeah,
Got
that's an easy one. Easy LVP here. Like, goddamn, you distracted by people talking.
Boy.
This is even worse than some of the distractions when the heels are just outside doing like ringing the bell and shit, like all that.
What did Dunn beat Sheamus that one time for? For this?
Huh?
I said, what did
Yeah,
Dunn
for
beat? Yeah.
Basically. For this. We go backstage. Ludwig Kaiser approaches Braun Breaker, who was about to get interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Kaiser said that he was moments away from becoming champion, but that was okay because he accomplished what he set out to do, and that was to take out Sheamus. He told Sheamus when he hurt his ribs a few months ago that he would injure him and take him out for good. And Sheamus apparently broke his ribs in the triple threat and will be out of action. So he says it's a rib for a rib. And now there was nothing stopping him from taking the Intercontinental Championship back to Imperium.
Yeah, okay.
Braun had no problem facing Kaiser and beating him once again. Kaiser would have that stupid look on his face knowing he would never hold the IC title, and he advised Kaiser to get out of Gunther's shadow quickly because his stock was dropping rapidly.
Damn. Burn.
I was like, that shouldn't be as true as it sounds.
I was like, Imperium. Let's look at this. I guess you guys are Imperium.
I guess you two can be considered an Imperium. I guess. Sami Zayn
Who's got more
confronts.
venom? Who's got more venom? Xavier and Kofi for Big E, or Gunther and Ludwig for fucking what's his face? Giovanni
Vinci. Well, I would say Xavier and Kofi because they actually expressed theirs. But it's probably really Gunther and Ludwig because they actually really feel that way.
Shoot.
It's a shoot, brother. It's a shoot. Sami Zayn backstage approaches Adam Pearce, who told him that Jay was being tended to. Zayn demanded to know who attacked Jay. Pearce said he didn't know. Zayn said that he knew exactly who it was and was about to go kick his ass in the ring, which led into our main event, Seth freaking Rollins versus Sami Zayn. And this surprisingly was not much of a matchup. It started with 14, 13 minutes left in the show. And I knew we were going to have a commercial break in between. I just didn't think it would be this short. It went not just over 9 minutes. Like I said, a commercial break in between. So that means we only got to see about 6 minutes of it. And for the most part, Sami Zayn was in control of this matchup. He gets a blue thunder bomb for a 2 count. Zayn followed up with an exploder in the corner, but Seth cuts off the Aluva kick with a super kick. Rollins told Zayn that his fight was with Punk, and Zayn slapped him and said, "I know it was you."
Rollins drove him into the ring post, but moments later, Zayn booted Rollins and drove him into the ring post. Zayn grabs a steel chair and threatens to hit Rollins for attacking Jay, but Seth says it wasn't him. Rollins talked him down, and Zayn eventually dumps the chair out of the ring. But then when he goes back to Seth, Seth rolls him up with a schoolboy, with a small package. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins defeats Sami Zayn. He is now 6-1 in his career in singles matches against Sami Zayn.
Damn.
After the matchup, Rollins told Zayn he loved his heart, but he needed to start using his head more. Rollins eventually leaves out of the ring. The camera focuses on Sami. You have it zoomed in, so you know whoever attacked Jay is going to pop up behind his back. And then eventually they zoom out when Sami turns around and he gets the Claymore right to the head. And in the hoodie was none other than the returning Drew McIntyre. For the first time since Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, Drew McIntyre is back on Monday Night Raw. Fantastic close to the show. I love the reveal of Drew McIntyre, and I love the fact we don't need a promo, and it makes all the sense in the world. Drew McIntyre attacked Jay and Sami simply for teaming with CM Punk. He already didn't like the Bloodline, and now the Bloodline teams with his other arch nemesis, CM Punk. You got to get kicked in the head. You got to get attacked backstage. That's how it works.
Yep. Welcome back, Drew. Yeah, but like you said about the match, it was just too short, too much commercial. It's like they didn't want to give away too much. A small package to beat them with. I did like the storytelling aspect of the match when they were talking to each other and everything that was going on there. Like, this is a very aggressive Sami Zayn. My goodness, get yourself a brother like him. He's fucking look out for you if you get sneak attacked.
Word. He went harder than Jimmy did when Roman was harassing and manipulating Jay.
Right? It's his actual brother.
Oh man. But yeah, Drew McIntyre coming out and beating these guys up. I was surprised, but I was
back.
Happy to see him back. What do you think he does at WrestleMania?
Probably Damian Priest singles match.
Ugh. Nah, Damian Priest is versus Finn Balor. We just need to. Y'all need to accept.
That's
like I've been telling you this since. I've been telling you this since August. That's what's gonna happen. We need to move on. I came up with the best option I came up with on our flagship podcast. Go over and check it out. True Hill Heat 305. I said John Cena.
I think John Cena's winning the Rumble. He's facing Gunther.
Wow. I don't think Gunther is going to be the champion by WrestleMania. So
who's going to be a champ?
Probably Punk or Seth to set up Punk versus Seth.
They don't need the title.
Probably not, but it's the bigger program on Raw. So Gunther, no matter what Gunther does, he's going to be the second program.
Gunther and Cena's Cena. You think Cena? No way. Going for 16? No.
17, but
17, excuse
me. I don't know.
Sorry, Punk. You understand, right?
Banger Bros reuniting. We got Chilling with Chase. He says Drew versus Jacob Fatu. That would be interesting. I agree with Big Man Dog. Sometimes the title needs them. I agree. The title does need them. That's a bigger program.
People will go crazy for John Cena going for 17.
Just like they did every other time John Cena went for 17. We've been dealing with the same story for like 5 years.
I think it's gonna be him. I think Punk. I think Seth might pull a Shawn Michaels Undertaker when Punk is going for the title, because Punk is teasing him on the beginning of this promo on the show. I don't need you. I don't need to be with you. My goal is the title. That's gonna piss off Seth. And Seth's gonna be like, "Oh, sure. Okay, we'll see. I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna make you need me." You know.
That's true. We could see it. We'll see what happens as we go on the road to WrestleMania. But this felt like the start of the road to WrestleMania, like it did last year. Last year, like the weeks after Survivor Series, felt like the start to the road to WrestleMania, and this one does as well
The
after Monday
Raw
Night.
after Survivor Series.
Indeed. Let us know in the live chat what you thought about Monday Night Raw. Let us know in the comments down below if you're watching us on demand. Final call for super chat donations. Thank you so much to everyone who showed their support throughout this review. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand as well. And let us know your match of the night, MVP, LVP. Out of 10, what did you give the show? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle for me and Romeo. For the December 2nd, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Out of 10, I'm going to give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. This was one of the better episodes of Monday Night Raw in the past. I would say the best episode of Monday Night Raw since this past summer.
I agree. 8.5. Very strongly well written for the characters in the show. Not so much strong in the ring, but when you have that strong writing in the promo segments, it's gonna take you over the top. Great show.
Great show indeed. Who was your MVP for the show, Romeo?
The New Day, even Big E, all three of them for one last time.
Yes, all three members, OG members of the New Day are my MVP as well. LVP for the show, gotta be Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
Done with you, Pete Dunne. And your match of the night?
The main event by default, even though there wasn't much there.
I'll give it to Dakota, Katana, and Shayna. I actually like that one a little bit more than the main event.
All right.
Romeo, let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, when they will see you again.
Romeo Damas, all social media. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the super chats. Appreciate y'all. Yeah.
There we go. There you have it. Check out me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. That's the best way to support us when we are not live here. And we'll have some exclusive stuff over there in the weeks to come. Also, check out the True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, where we did our review for The Bear Season 3 yesterday. So go over and check that out. I will be back live with you tomorrow for our NXT Deadline preview, as well as Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, the AE Ramble, our flagship podcast reviewing AEW Dynamite. Check out our flagship True Hill Heat podcast on Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. And we got NXT Deadline review on Sunday. So another jam-packed week from us. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. But for Romeo, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review number 46. You broke your neck. So what?
So wow.
For the December 2nd, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw, we are signing off until next time.